spell called Create Homunculus.
Oh, here we go with this again.
Clayton.
I hate Clayton.
I love Clayton.
It's ugly as hell.
So, he's the best. He was the best.
He was the best. Rest in peace.
Alright, everybody. Welcome to the stream. We're starting a little late tonight because we were checking out the Xanathar's guide to everything this evening. And, well, that kind of made us be a little late. But here we are. We're going to get started here as soon as Raku does the recap.
If it was somewhere I could read it, that'd be good.
It is.
Where is it?
Creator Corner, where it always is.
Why is it there?
Because that's where it always is.
Okay. Alright. Last time on Rooms and Reptiles, Eric sat around reading a lot of books. Meanwhile, apparently the bard went off and had some fun. I mean, his performance in the end was okay, but I don't know if it was that good. Otherwise, we traveled from Baldur's Gate to Daggerford, then took a barge to Loudwater. While on the barge, the hatchling brother of mine decided to cost us money by messing with the captain the entire time. Now I've got no idea how we'll get the cart back to Baldur's Gate. What did you... After we complete our super secret mission up here. You posted something and it just moved... No, one of your bots moved the screen up and I lost my place.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Sorry.
That's fine.
Anyways, we are live and... Digi, could you switch to push to talk?
Alright.
It sounds like it keeps trying to, It keeps trying to echo us, but instead it's just buzzing. It's weird. Anyways. Dovah. Dovah.
Dovah's missing. Oh, he's here.
Well, I apparently wasn't pushing my push to talk button, which is weird because I've used it for like 3 years on the same exact button.
You monster.
I know, right? I've got one of those mice with 3 mouse keys.
Ah.
Same.
Like, yeah, and I use the one furthest on the right as the push to talk because literally nothing uses that key. I bound it in the hex editors or whatever. I bound it to F14. Tell me a program that uses F14.
Wait, F14?
Hell yeah.
How do you even hit that? My keyboard only goes up to F12.
It's on a special little mouse.
Yep. It's a secret. Also, I've completely forgotten how to do it, so if I accidentally said anything else, will be fucked. Okay, let's start. Last time we left off, you guys had traveled to Loudwater on a barge from Daggerford. A few of you had heard strange statements coming from the air around you, seemingly, in a very almost childish voice. Rock, it's probably the doll, you know that, but nobody else knows that at this time.
Except maybe Kobold. I mean, I did do that.
Oh, yeah, well, you do know it probably does speak, yes.
Considering I bunked with him for a little while and I heard speaking, but, you know, he wasn't talking, it wasn't his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the doll's magical.
Yes. Now, you find yourselves in Loudwater. And I'll read the little vignette I had prepared that I read last time. Where is it? God, there it is. Loudwater is a splendidly picturesque garden town, with every spare patch of ground and any available surface adorned with lovingly tended greenery and full gardens all over town. The wooden buildings of all shapes and sizes, no two of which are alike, are overgrown with vines and decorated with hanging plants, both inside and on the roof. Even the streets are planted with tangle moss. And they curved and meandered to provide a good view or an interesting route. Giant ancient trees lined the green, grassy banks of the river, of which the water ran cold and clear. The town doesn't even have much for defensive walls, only a large ditch and an earthen rampart, both covered in planted flowers. Even looking at it now, you can't really tell where the town begins and the forest ends, as some streets even lead back into the shady canopy to the south. Of course, you know the woods here to be named the South Wood. But that's just lazy name right there. This is a really
I vote we burn it down.
Song. Can you not?
Why?
Because there are quest givers in there.
I didn't say that.
They're essential
NPCs.
NPCs.
I said that burn it. Why?
I'm just kidding.
I love how you guys think that burning down a town isn't intrinsically bad idea.
Second this.
We are murder hobos.
You're not that big of murder hobos yet.
Do not.
Excuse me?
Do not. Attention, please do not.
I can kill you.
You want Rock to go on a killing spree?
Yeah, we'll let Rock go off killing everybody in town, and then we'll burn it.
So, okay, so where were we?
I was gonna get my baguette sword.
I can practically
Besides that.
hear Dovah face palming so bad from here.
Hey, I didn't even make that up. I'm just gonna go with it.
I've been avoiding thinking about this.
About his
Okay, well,
magical
because
baguette
it's-
sword.
It's so silly.
I already have a bread sense.
Yeah, you kind of already gave him that.
So
I did.
I mean, it hasn't been used once because I have no idea on what the hell that would do.
You can hear rolls baking a mile away.
Alright, here, I got some for you.
Hey, thank you, Ray.
Yeah, I thought I'd finally do that.
What, subscribe?
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
subscribed with Twitch Prime. Woo!
Alright, so. Raku, your quiver has
Yes.
gained a strange property. Seemingly absorbed whatever's been inside it and enhanced its own abilities.
Is it loaves of bread that go eee?
It's not that. Instead, whenever you deposit bread inside and retrieve it back, it seems to have this strange magical enchantment to it.
Oh,
It's-
I'm down with this.
When you swing it violently,
The piece of bread?
yes, it becomes incredibly hard, almost with an attuned magical edge.
Hey, to be fair,
However-
he hasn't done this yet, so...
When your intent is to eat it, or when it's anybody else's intent to eat it, it tastes perfectly fine, and it does
Oh,
not
this
cut
is-
you off.
This is amazing.
What if he swings it at someone and they try to bite it?
It's an excellent
wasn't-
question. I suppose we'll find out when that happens.
Well, it wasn't my intent to feed it to them.
But it's my intent to eat it.
Well, I'm not gonna hit you with it. Well, maybe.
Unless I try to stop you from burning the forest, you monster.
How are you gonna stop me from burning the forest if I'm trying to hit you with a loaf of bread?
You know, it just occurred to me that I'm playing my,
That you're a druid and you would be against this?
Yeah.
I might have gotten my characters mixed up. I'm in 3 D&D games, okay?
Dovah, do you think you can edit my quiver or whatever, something in my inventory so I can figure out how to keep track of my new powers?
Sure.
Oh.
That, quiver. There it is.
And I don't know if you thought I was laughing at Dovah, Zim, for what you said earlier. I'm laughing because that's hilarious. I love that.
Oh yes, it is quite humorous.
I'm trying to think of a very fancy word for bread.
Baguette.
Hmm. God.
Lofi sustenance?
Lofi is good. I like that.
Lofi corginess.
Corky's is bread.
Yes. Anyways, while he's doing that, I'd like to, and after my stop at the gift shop, or souvenir store, whatever, I'd like...
Such.
Huh?
Trinkets and such.
Yes.
The brutal baguette.
What kind of trinket are you getting?
I already picked up, some kind of plush, I think. No, it was a quilt.
Yeah, it was a quilt with the town's history on it.
Oh, yeah.
And they actually are having a celebration the next day. They actually sold it.
Yeah, it's in Shrek.
I still say that we install a door frame on the bottom of the, or on like the floor of the cart, and so that we can just jump through the door.
That's a pretty good idea. Whenever we want to visit that city place.
Or at least before we do that, we should lay like a door in a frame on the ground before we buy it, and then just like poke someone's head through to make sure they don't like fall sideways from somewhere.
This would be good to do on long trips since it seems to consume days.
Interesting. They have lists that in Xanathars. They have lists for druids that say what kind of animals you might have seen depending on where you live.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I didn't realize that.
Yep, it's under the learning beast shapes section.
There's an alphabetical index of NPCs? A tiny servant.
Yes, there's a spell that can turn a tiny object into a servant that does things for you.
Yeah, I think I heard you talking about that
animated
before.
object?
There you
No,
go, I changed
it's
it
called,
for you,
it's
Raku.
called Tiny Servant.
Alright,
The
let's...
enchanted quiver of loafin sharpness.
What?
So I was looking through this and like,
Is-
okay, well, what if you're a druid grew up in the city? But I was like, no, that's... Wait a minute.
Should it be Elena's quiver of loaf and sharpness?
Could do that.
Alright.
What's the max level spells that a 7th level wizard can cast again?
Oh wait, oh no. Oh, I thought you were changing my quiver of Alona or whatever.
No. This is the enchanted quiver.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, you don't have to call it that.
What were we saying, Cobalt?
What's the max level level 7 wizard can cast, or level 7 caster, I guess?
Level 7
4?
caster, I believe. So yeah.
All right. Well, I know what 5th level spell I'm getting.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Tiny servant.
No, far step. Up to a minute, you can teleport 60 feet as a bonus action.
Jesus Christ. Wow. So, what are you all doing in Loudwater? And as a reminder, when you arrived, there was this faint sort of sound in the air, like almost as if you were biologically responding to it, like a smell
You mean
on
the
the
dragon's
air.
roar?
Yes. And it wasn't really a roar, but more a mark of their presence that you're just attuned to due to your ancestry. There's definitely one in the area.
I don't think Cobalt's ever seen it. Nope. Wait. Yeah, no. Cobalt's never seen a dragon before. Dragonborn is the closest he's ever seen to a dragon and doesn't really know what a dragon is.
Didn't you see the one that
Yeah, one.
that Sully
no.
summoned?
I was in the basement of the room we were in,
I
playing with the
think we all
scales,
ran
and then it was
out.
gone. I know, but it was gone before I came out.
As
Like,
you
I
guys
can
ran
s-
out, it
I
just
could sense something happening, but I didn't get to see it.
Well, you could hear it.
Yes, Cobalt's never seen a dragon before. Also, doesn't know what's going on with this feeling.
Alright, so I'm gonna go look for information from. Well, look for Zentarum to gather information.
Alright. Now, like Daggerford, there's nearly no Zentarum influence at all, from what you can tell. There's no signs, But as you're finishing looking through the town, almost completely empty on hope that there is any Zentarum, you see like a shed backed up against a wooden berm. Not a wooden, but a dirt berm. And on it is the sign of the Zentarum, though very small and very weathered.
I will take a careful look in. Nice emote.
Thanks.
I didn't see the emote.
It's Vault Boy.
Oh.
His name on Twitch is Vault Boy Impersonator. So, of course, he's gotta have that.
Nice. Inside, you see a very old half-elf currently reading a book by a fireplace. You're looking in through the keyhole. He does not seem to notice that you're here.
I would be concerned if he knew that I was here just by me looking through the keyhole. And cue rocks falling. I'm gonna knock on the door.
You see him turn up, look around, and about after 10 seconds he slowly gets up, kind of shaking as he does so. He walks over to the door, opens it, and looks above you. Kind of looking around, seeing if anyone's here. He starts to mutter something about the kids around here and starts to go back inside, closing the door.
Ahem, down here.
He turns around again, he looks at you, and Oh! I didn't see you there.
I kind of noticed.
Not from around here. What do you want?
I'm going to kind of casually flash my Zentarum badge.
You can notice he has a slight scowl. And so what do you want?
I'm just looking for information.
Oh? And
Yeah.
what of?
Well, we...
Motions inside.
What?
As he motions you to come inside.
I will follow him in. I'm going to be a little bit on guard because he doesn't seem very pleased to see me. And well, it's generally a good idea to be on edge around some of these people.
Fair enough. What's everybody else doing?
Oh, gee, thanks.
I'm just wandering around town.
Alright. It's a fairly nice sort of garden town. Every once in a while you spot a stream running through the streets. The water in it is impeccably clean.
I'm walking around with him, just kind of nomming on a baguette as I'm walking around.
Alright.
It tasting mighty good.
It has this slight ozone flavor to it in a nice way. Like the fizz in a soda.
I am content.
Alright.
He's also gonna follow Rockbrook.
Alright. So you all are just basically walking around the city, taking in the sights?
Yeah.
I'll be going around asking about the history of the town specifically.
Alright.
Well, we've got all of that on a blanket.
The population of the town is very, very hospitable. And they pretty much answer your questions about the town as far as they can remember. And some of them moved here recently, and some of them aren't really versed with the history, but this is the best that you can get. It was formed quite a long time ago. Something about the downfall of a ancient empire, and they kind of just, some of them moved here. Nobody really remembers how long ago it was, but it was a fairly long time ago. Of course, most of the population is humans, followed by half-elves, elves, and then at the bottom we've got halflings, gnomes, dwarves, and half-orcs. About like 5% each. The total population, just from looking around, is maybe 2,500. 2,500, maybe 10,000. It's kind of hard to tell because there's lots of various underground niches and various even homes built into trees and up high.
And there's no noble presence or anything in the land?
Oh, there are. There's the High Lord and the council below them. But otherwise, it's... Well, the council is about 20 members of the people who can represent. And I'm getting a lot of like background noise from somebody.
Yeah,
Probably
It's coming from Digi.
I have a different mic today. It's apparently not going so well.
It's actually a lot louder.
Yeah, I've been turning you down a bit by bit.
Too. That's probably a good idea.
The High Lord at the moment is Telbor Zezrek. And he has been for about 10 years. And so far, it's doing a pretty good job. They went through and people complain about this a lot. They went through a pretty bad period, which a lot of people emigrated away due to super bad policies and various raids from monstrous types from the wilderness that the previous ruler just did nothing about. And really, that's it. There hasn't been any very, very big issues, aside from when various large immigration sort of wave hit from Lork to the east, near the Grey Peak Mountains.
What's the trade of the town?
Druidic magics, various rare herbs and spices, stuff like that. Basically, lots of agricultural stuff.
Makes sense.
And in fact, this is one of the places that supplies Daggerford as well as the wineries of Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate. And in fact, there's quite a lot of vines or grapes being grown.
I want to find a stand that's selling garlic.
All right. You do find one. It smells fantastic.
And
It's currently run by a human woman.
All right. I go up to the stand and I kind of jump so she can try to see the top of my head.
All right. You notices you, looking down, kind of in a non-asshole-ish way. What can I do for you? Would you like some the spices?
I would like a couple cloves of garlic.
Oh, of course. I think a copper for here. How about 4 for 1 silver piece? How will that do?
I will take that.
She nods hurriedly and cuts down 4 cloves of garlic from not cloves, the clusters. Are those called cloves too?
Yeah.
It might be, yeah.
By the way, 4 big clusters. She
Alright.
cuts them down, places them in or ties them up with twine, and then hands them to you, and places the silver into a strong box beneath the counter.
All right, and I tell her thank you and good day. So
Nods
I'm
and
enjoying.
waves goodbye.
I'm enjoying this quaint little town. So I'm not trying to mess with her. And I go back with the rest of them.
I suppose while I'm here, I'll do my bard things and find a place to perform.
All right, and Sully, you do know that Lork was destroyed by stone giants about 50 years ago.
Cool, don't sing about storm giants.
Is there like a butcher shop around?
There is.
I would like to go to the butcher shop.
Inside the butcher shop, it's a fairly squat building, kind of edging up near the river, and you notice that there is a dock sort of jutting out back. Guess they might throw some of the waste into the river, but that's pretty normal. And it is all biodegradable, so it's good for the environment.
What's biodegradable?
It means it dissolves or something.
I don't think
but I know, yeah.
It degrades.
It's good for environment.
It is environment.
There's bad stuff for the environment? What is...
Fire?
I don't
It's pretty
understand.
bad.
Fire's bad, yeah.
Well, the Industrial Revolution hasn't happened, so I think everything else is okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, you head inside and you see one of the very few dwarves in the town.
I'm gonna scowl.
He's smoking a pipe at the counter. He doesn't say anything as you enter, he just nods and gives a small grunt.
I want to go up to the counter and say in very broken common, fresh meat, and point at the counter.
He nods heartily. All of it's fresh. Well, aside from the aged meats. those are good too.
What is freshest?
Looks around. He actually gets up and takes a peek into the back room. And he comes back. He points to what looks to be the rear quarter of a lamb or a pig or a goat or something. It's hanging up, and you can actually see that it is visibly moist.
I'm gonna point to it, point it to me, and then point to it again.
He nods. He takes a look at it. Looks at a small paper tag that's been tied to the hoof, and he says, 2 gold pieces.
Is 2 pieces for the whole thing?
He nods, saying yes.
I'm gonna grin and give him 2 gold pieces.
All right. As he's putting the gold pieces, he's kind of thinking to himself, looking at the meat, looking back at you, because the meat is about as big as you are. He just kind of shakes his head and shrugs, retrieving the large amount of meat off the hook and handing it to you over the counter. And you find yourself taken aback with how much this actually weighs. Because it's about, I'd say, 45 pounds of meat.
Oh, that is perfect.
Well, including the weight of the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the rear legs with a bit of the torso. You can't really tell what it is though, but it's like a sheep or a pig or a goat.
It's meat.
I'm gonna take it, sling it over my back, and start eating it while going through town.
Alright. You get a few strange looks, but overall people seem to be tolerating your behavior. I mean, you're certainly not being very rude, but it's certainly something strange to be seen.
Is the meat like super, super fresh?
Oh my god, there's still blood in it.
Oh, that's the best kind.
It's damn good.
He is a happy camper right now.
Cobalt, what you doing? Did you say what you were doing?
I was following Rockrock for a while. Yeah, I did not. I think... Is this a port town or just a seaside?
River. You can
Riverside.
see it on the map. It's just below the high forest.
Oh man, hold on.
Here, I'll draw a little.
Just below the high forest.
I'm drawing a big
Yeah,
old pointer.
I don't see it anywhere.
Are you at Boulder's Gate?
No, I'm.
Do you know what Boulder's Gate is?
It's one of the maps, isn't it?
It's on the Faerun map.
Hang
Are you
on.
not on? Oh, you closed it.
Yeah.
I just did. But I look at all these unidentified map
Dovah?
images.
Zoom
Anyway.
in on the city, and if you right click, go to sharing.
Okay, there it is.
Found it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, you should be able to sync your view with what we see.
Like that.
Yep.
All right.
That moves
Oh,
our
neat.
map so we see it's centered on where you're looking.
So yes, that is Loudwater right there. To the south is a heavily wooded area, which the town sort of melts into. And to the north is a river, which you have gotten here. Which you got here from Daggerford. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I don't know what. There's not a library in this town, is there? That seems small.
Probably there's a small one, but you reckon that it's probably filled with sort of agricultural manuscripts.
Lame.
Lots of natural magic, not much arcane magic.
Oh, figures. Kobold's gonna go around looking through people's windows.
Okay. We're gonna just jump right back to Eric's for a sec. The half-elven man looks at you expectantly as he motions toward a chair on the opposite side of his living room. As there's one chair, a table, then a chair almost directly in front of a small fireplace, filled with what looks to be real fire, but you're not quite sure.
Alright.
The interior is warm and cozy, but you can tell that it's not luxurious.
That doesn't need to be luxurious. I will go ahead and take a seat and begin telling him. My friends and I just arrived in town here. We are looking for information about some kobold tribes that may be in the area.
Scratches his chin for a moment. There was up until recently, there was a tribe of hill giants living in a few caves up in the Grey Peak Mountains. We didn't see them anymore for the longest time. And 2 years ago, some of the farm animals started disappearing routinely. It stopped, but every so often, maybe about once a month, one of the cows or sheep will just disappear right out of the field. Nobody's seen what's doing it. It's fair to say that it might be a dragon. And I'm thinking that if you're gonna go looking for a kobold tribe, it's gonna be with them.
All right.
He takes out, or he says, the caves were just north of Lork. One of the spring sources of the of this river that flows through this town comes from.
So if we follow the river, we should be able to get to the caves?
Probably. It's likely that they're going to be hidden, considering they're kobolds and all. But you know that.
Well, thank you very much for the information.
He nods.
I will pull out, I'll give him 3 gold pieces.
He seems to get slightly happier. And visibly relaxes a bit as you stand up and start to walk out.
Thank you much for the information.
He grunts again, nodding.
And I will head out and start looking for a tavern for the... I don't know, what time is it?
We're operating on the barge's timeline, so... It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You guys are absolutely bushed by this point.
Yeah, so definitely gonna look for a tavern. Preferably
I think
something
I
a
didn't
bit more.
find a street to perform on, or will I be saving it for this?
It's up to you.
It's late-ish, I guess, or way early in the morning.
3 in the
It's late.
afternoon, sorry.
Late for us.
Really late for us. It's kind of like like if we had been up all night and about 8 a.m. for us, probably. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, that's like really, really late.
So like breakfast time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Might as well
You
entertain
guys
the
have been
crowds.
pulling. You guys pulled an all-nighter on your last night on the barge.
And all there.
All there, yeah.
That's
Well-
what I'm on right now.
Might as well entertain the crowd, see if we can get some free rooms.
All right. So tavern or street was it?
Yes.
I-
Tavern.
okay.
In the tower.
Tavern or tavern in the street? Yeah, I guess.
Tower or...
There are a few inns and taverns. Actually, really, there's two. The Merry Mercy and the Scarlet Shield. The Merry Mercy is definitely more of a bar, but the Scarlet Shield is more of an inn. Less alcohol, more rooms. The tavern is more alcohol, less rooms.
Alright, folks, which one are we bunking at?
Whichever
prefer
one is
the
easier
higher
to
quality.
entertain.
That's
I'm indifferent.
probably the Scarlet Shield, then.
Cobalt is a kobold.
Very good, Cobalt.
If
We should all pat Cobalt's head for being a smart Cobalt when we see him next.
yay, tail wag, super happy, etc.
Oh yeah, you're looking through people's windows.
Yeah,
Um,
out of
there's
boredom.
actually surprisingly few windows here. Lots of porches and outdoor seating though. Like there's a very clear distinction between inside and outside. Whereas inside, my God, you're freaking inside. Like it's basically caves.
Holy crap, you're inside.
Yeah. There's no in between. There's no windows. The doors are, aside from the keyhole, are completely solid.
I'm in.
Alright, well,
Anyways.
anyone doing anything interesting?
Well, I'm performing at one or the other. I'm thinking the Scarlet Shield.
Well, I'm at the people I'm spying on.
You see a lot of people are just like out and about, so they aren't in their homes. As it is 3 o'clock and some people are still working. You do see a few people just relaxing inside, reading a book by the fire, perhaps preparing some food. You see one guy sharpening his sword. He looks to be one of the rather adventurous types, but not very adventurous. Kind of a like a weekend warrior sort of person.
Here just for fun.
Just for fun, just as a hobby. He definitely does not see you. As yeah, nobody really notices you as they're just about on their business, and they don't notice a very diminutive pair of eyes start looking in.
Well, time to bring up my spell list.
Oh no. Alright, you and we'll say that Cobalt shows up a bit later at the inn. Raku, what are you doing during all this time?
Weren't we headed to, I guess I'm watching Solly perform.
Alright. So we'll say that you guys went to the Scarlet Shield. Since you are looking for a place to rest instead of getting hammered.
Cobalt's gonna mage hand mess with people in their house. And then leave. Like, knocking stuff over, opening things and closing things.
Alright. It does have that faint blue glow, remember?
Oh yeah, but they don't know where it's coming from.
Does Mage Hand have a verbal component?
No, just somatic, I think. Let me pull it up just to make sure. Oh, verbal and somatic. Let's see. Yeah, whatever. I'll just do something and then duck out, and then scamper away.
All right. You raise a little bit of havoc. Not very much havoc, but it's pretty lighthearted. And yeah, you see a few kind of scared glances towards whatever fallen over. You see a few people jump as like an empty wooden bowl falls to the floor right behind them. And yeah, it's pretty funny to watch them. Really, none of them seem to notice as you're casting the spell. Seems the insulation from the outside to the inside is pretty good.
Alright, now I'm gonna go to the tavern. I'm sleepy.
The Scarlet Shield. The exterior is of average quality, being a rather thin wooden building jutting up to one of the numerous sort of wooden hills, or soil hills that kind of jut up and down inside the city. But the inside has deliberately rustic furnishings, and from what you can tell, cleanliness and service to match. The staff, though rarely sighted, are generous with food and bedding. And Raku, when you guys are there, the building is filled with the smell of warm baking bread. The tavern keeper is a zealous and rather energetic young man. And he'll gladly tell people stories of how the inn was formed, being it was named after his great-grandfather's shield, which he carried into battle after he'd settled down.
So I'm gonna go up to that person and ask him how it's made. I'm just gonna say it that way. Just how's it made?
Beer?
Or no,
beer is simple to make. Oh, well,
no.
First of all, we take the
bread.
grain, mash it up.
Tell me about your bread.
Bread. Oh, we take flour, mix it with some water, some yeast, perhaps put a pinch of salt, maybe some nuts and different raw grains. We let it sit for a while.
Do you do anything special? Is there a reason why I should buy this bread that I'm smelling?
Oh, well, do you have any other place to buy the bread?
I pull a baguette out of my quiver.
Hold on, he just did.
Well, if you already have the bread, then it doesn't matter. It's about buying from us.
But are you not going to make an attempt to buy it, to get me to sell from you? Come on.
Well, bread isn't our main
bread.
selling point. Rather, it's good. I can tell you that, yes. I'll gladly tell you that. Because it's true.
May I sample some of this said bread?
Are you having anything else?
Oh, are you having a tankard of ale.
Drink? Oh, of course. He reaches back into one of the large kegs mounted in the wall, with one of the kind of spigots beneath it, and grabs one of the large mugs. He reaches to it for a moment, and he looks back at you and says, "Do you want a smaller size?"
I'm gonna...
It's about the size of your head.
I'm gonna, like, have an irritated expression and just kind of look at him.
He shrugs and fills it up with ale. And he hands it to you, and he claps 3 times. After a few seconds, one of the not servants, but waitresses.
The
Comes
wench.
from not the wench. This is an upscale place. One of the waitresses comes up, nodding. He turns to her and he says, "A sampling of the bread, please." The waitress nods and hurries into the back. What's everybody else doing? Oh, give me that performance roll. Kept forgetting to do
I
that.
swear if he rolls another nat 20 this week.
I already did.
Wait, you did?
No, he rolled in the tower.
Oh, I see
Remember?
it. Yeah, I see it.
You go for.
Yeah. I thought that was you rolling, Cobalt, to mess with people inside their homes. I was like, I don't think you needed to roll for that, but okay.
Uh,
But yes, you do put on quite a good show. What are you singing about? Can't hear you. I think you're muted.
I think he's thinking.
Fair enough. What's everybody else doing?
How much of a dent on that? Go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and order some food. I will also be idly reading another one of the books while I do so.
Alright.
How much of a dent did I make on that leg?
Not much, honestly. This is pretty damn big. You've made about, we'll say you've got about a pound in.
Awesome.
And you've got about 44 to go, including the bones, which you might not eat, but
I got a plan for the bone.
Dovah,
Stock.
I believe I read the books on aqueducts, right?
I'm back.
Yes.
So someone else had talked to me, so I had to put myself on mute for a moment. What happened?
Nothing. What were you singing about? Are you singing,
Well-
or is this an instrumental piece?
Well, I did sing, since he was ever so eager to talk about the creation and founding of his inn. I decided to make that my focal point.
Give me a history
To
check.
both. What?
Give me a history check.
All right.
You're singing
In
about
the tower.
you're singing about the inn, yes?
Yes.
All right. In what way are you singing about it? Are you mocking it? Are you praising it? Or what?
Well, since we're trying to get rooms, I'm thinking this might be his favorite subject, so flatteringly.
Alright. You, taking what you remember the tavern keeper saying, you weave a sort of a spin-off section based on why this place is great after you've been here for a little while, as well as why it should be in other towns, as well as the sort of the comedic impact of it being in other towns, like how it would drive everything in Waterdeep out of business.
Mm.
And you get a decent crowd sort of clapping along. It's as you guys continue on, it slips into the busy hours, which is about 5 to 6 to 7. After that, it dies down a little bit, and the only people still there are drunkards and people who don't have anything else to do. But still, you draw a rather large crowd. And let me roll some dice. You gain 80 gold pieces and tips.
And our rooms are free, or are we still paying for them?
The rooms do become comped. Only for you, though. The rest will have to pay 5 silver per night.
That's super cheap.
The food is also not comped.
Oh, well, still.
Speaking of which,
I suppose it
Your
wasn't
bread
quite
platter
enough.
does arrive.
80
Alright.
gold pieces, was it?
Yes. It's a sampling of about 5 different types of bread. There seems to be a pumpernickel, a rye, some sort of really, really heavy. It looks like a very soft brick, but you can see that it's just filled with various nuts and grains, as well as a very light and airy sort of shortbread and a stereotypical white sort of a French bread.
I nod. I'm impressed that they had a dedicated person come bring an entire platter of bread to me, and
They're
I
very,
begin
very
sampling.
small. They're very, very small pieces. Like
Yeah, I know, but
kinda
it's
like-
still, I
yeah.
was expecting someone to like tear off a piece of a loaf and throw it at me.
all of them are fairly good, but the brick, sort of a super dense one, has a strange flavor, kind of like a fishy, meaty flavor. It's
Mhm.
like nothing you've ever really had, and it's sort of pleasant, but also it seems to be like it would be an acquired taste.
Protein bread.
I want to talk to the tavern keep about that bread and just sort of ask him about the flavor.
Ah, well, that right there is our patented adventure bread, built for those who really don't have time to stick around and wait for something to wait for bread to rise. And it keeps very well. In fact, we have not had any spoil yet.
No?
We're not sure why, but it keeps very, very well.
What sort of ingredients are in this?
Oh, plenty of things, but of course we'll have to keep some secret. Well, there's the flour, the yeast, we have some salt, water, of course. We have some sunflower seeds, some ground up peanuts, some soybeans, I believe. A bit of stuff from our friend over at the butcher shop, and a few other secret ingredients, which we can't tell you.
I'm gonna scratch my head a little bit, and I'm gonna say, all right, I'll take 2 loaves of this.
Nods excitedly. Of course, he claps 3 times. The server comes over right away, and he says, 2 bricks for the kobold here. Servant
You should-
nods and walks to the back.
I just look him in the eye and I say, you should really name that something different.
Why? I feel it's a perfectly suitable name.
Nobody wants to eat a brick.
Bricks
Well-
aren't appetizing.
Well, that is true, but that's not really our target audience.
It makes me feel when I see that when I bite it, I'm gonna lose all my teeth.
Well, that's the whole point. A hardtack doesn't spoil very easily because it's so, well, hard. If we market it as a brick, then people will know that it doesn't spoil. And that it keeps well forever, and that it's very nutritious. I don't know if
Got a
bricks
point,
are
you
very nutritious. Yes, you do have a point, but I'm not going to take it.
Oh, well, I meant him, as in the owner dude, but
Yeah.
whatever.
All right then. What's that gonna cost me?
You could see him like counting up numbers in his head. 2 gold.
2 gold.
Yes. Well, these are very, very dense. Quite a lot of material goes into these. In fact, I believe, and I've had some customer reports, that one of these can keep you alive for nearly a week.
I'll give you 1 gold for both loaves.
Oh, no. I said 2. 2 gold for 2 loaves.
You know what? I'm okay. You can have the gold.
Nods
I
excitedly.
put the 2 down.
Alright. A little while later, one of the servants comes back out visibly straining, as on a wooden sort of serving tray are two. They look to be the size of bread loaves, but they're visibly heavy. Ah, here they are now. And he picks one up and drops it onto the bar with an audible, like, thunk. You notice that no crumbs have come off because of that.
I'll thank the woman and I'll give her 3 copper pieces.
Alright, she nods, very happy. And
Alright.
hurries back with the serving platter back into the kitchen.
And I'm gonna put the loaves in my quiver.
Give me a strength check, actually.
Okay.
Because each one is about 35 pounds.
Are you? What the fuck? What? That should be fine.
Oh yeah. But
It is a brick.
straining and
How the hell?
grunting, you manage to get these loaves into your quiver, and you feel the quiver kind of not want to accept these, like it's saying, no, I don't want these. But after a bit of insistent pushing, you do manage to get them in the quiver.
This is not bread.
This is ridiculous. Alright, I'm gonna get off and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna distance myself from that tavern keep because he was ridiculous.
You add 2 35-pound loaves of bread to your quiver.
What was it?
2 35-pound
Yeah.
loaves. Hyper dense, one might say.
What the fuck is in this?
Yeah.
No
I
wonder
don't-
it
I don't-
keeps.
I don't even know what's happening here.
They'd
I'm
have to be
confused.
made of lead for crying out loud.
We can use it for building material.
Hey Dovah, how much was a meal?
Meal is 3 silver.
And Kobold's gonna sleepily trudge in, pay for food, eat some of it, and then fall asleep face first in the food.
Alright. The food today is what looks to be a bowl of stew, along with one of the lighter, actually no, it would be the sort of heavy nutty bread. A hearty portion along with the stew. Not the loaf. But,
Not
yeah.
the brick.
Not the brick, but...
Out of character here, I can't wait to hit someone with this.
I don't know, you
Depends if
might
you'll
have
be
to...
able to even wield it.
Nobody wants to eat
Jeez.
this brick, not even the quiver. By the way, how much did my meal and room cost?
8 gold combined. Or no. 8 silver, sorry.
I was about to say...
I just spent 2 gold on bread.
Well, this bread is very special bread.
I think
Yeah.
you meant 2 gold on a weapon.
Yeah?
Oh, well then.
What does it do? 2d10 bludgeoning damage?
2d20.
Roll-
But
I'd
you
love
have
to
to
have
make
a
a
weapon that
straight
does
check
1d20.
You have to make a strength check to lift it up, and then an attack roll to actually hit them with it.
You roll percentile. You roll a percentile die twice, and then take the average of the two.
That seems bad.
Hey, thanks
Just
for
a
the
bad
follow,
idea.
Dragon fan.
Hell yeah. Okay, so Cobalt, you're face first asleep in your stew, or in
Also,
what
note
remains
that
of it.
Note that I did not purchase a room.
Rock, you are thoroughly enjoying your raw meat.
Yes, I am.
You've gotten through about a pound so far. Eric's, what are you doing?
I ate my meal, read some of a book, one of the engineering ones, and now I'm going to be heading off to my room. I will... I don't know. Can I carry Cobalt on my own fairly well?
Cobalt's like really small, so I would say yes, you'd be able to do so.
Alright, I'll carry him up to the room.
All right.
Well, be
Rock,
able to stay asleep the
you
whole time.
you hear a voice. That same sort of a small feminine voice. He says, "That man hates his father for doing what he did."
I'm just gonna kind of nod and chew on my meat log. How much is a room?
5 silver.
I'm gonna get a room by myself.
All right.
Take my honking leg of meat up to the room.
You get a few concerned looks from what looked to be the one of the housekeepers. Raku, what do you do?
Looks like Rock found something to smuggle this.
Did Eric's... Where's Eric's at? I'm gonna go to him.
Eric's is currently carrying Cobalt up a small flight of stairs.
I'm just gonna follow them.
Sully, what are you doing?
You could help.
I'm lugging this bread.
Touche.
I'm gonna go with that.
Carrying 70 fucking pounds of bread.
Sully? Well, we'll assume that he,
Hello.
There you are.
Sorry, I pressed a button, I guess. I'm going... How old was this innkeeper?
Fairly young, it looks like. Perhaps maybe 20 or 30.
I suppose I'll make idle chatter with him and go lead into the topic of how he came to be owner of this inn while he's so young and energetic.
Alright, you start talking with him and you eventually learn that he does like the tavern keeper profession.
You seem to have quite the adventurous business sense for a tavern keeper.
Oh yes, of course. Well, we do live in such a fabulous age. What with all the adventurers mucking about. Frankly, I think this is one of the best professions to be working in right now.
Mm-hmm. Any profession where you can make a living not being in danger is quite handy. I can say so myself. But there is some excitement to it.
Oh yes, of course. Now, would you like anything else tonight?
No, I suppose that will be...
We have baths down in the basement. We could draw one for you.
Actually, I think I would like that.
Nods. Claps 3 times, calls the servant over. He tells them, a warm bath for the kobold. The servant nods and heads down the set of stairs in the opposite direction.
I have to keep myself clean, after all. I'm performing.
After about 10 minutes or so, the tavern keeper tells you that the bath is indeed ready for you.
I suppose I'll go down there and wash up.
You go downstairs. It's a fairly well-furnished basement with some individual rooms for bathing, and you have a quite nice bath. And I assume you'd retire for the night afterwards?
That's correct.
All right. You would head up to a room provided to you.
So I suppose Cobalt, Raku, and Eric's are sharing a room then?
I believe... Well, Cobalt's going to be sleeping wherever since he's not really conscious.
True enough.
But Rock has bought his own room as well as Eric's, but I believe Raku is going to be sharing it with Eric's.
And
Yeah.
Cobalt.
And Cobalt, yes.
'cause-
I'll knock on the door to pick up my child.
Eric's is now at your room's door. Or,
Eh.
as Sully is now at your room's door, Erickson.
Go for it. Take him. I just
Great.
didn't want
I
to
have
leave
room.
him in the, common room.
You mean in the stew.
Well, yeah, that too.
There wasn't that much stew left. So he wouldn't be drowning, but still.
That's company. My child could have been drowning in stew.
One might say stewing.
Oh. I'll take him back to my room and call it a night.
Alright. You all have a fairly nice night's sleep and wake up in the morning feeling refreshed. Raku, you have a bit of a continuation to a dream you had earlier. But it stopped before it really got very far. But it involved you actually touching their hand and keeping hold of it instead of letting go.
Alright.
And that seems to be it.
Kind of
Alright.
groggily wake up and I take my dream cap off.
Alright. Anybody else doing anything special in the morning? As Cobalt seems very still tired and refusing to wake up.
I want to have a moment in the room and talk to the doll.
Alright. What do you say to it?
I want to... hold on one second. In Draconic, I want to say, who are you?
It responds not in Draconic, but directly into your head. You know the meaning, but you don't understand the language that it's speaking, per se. My name doesn't matter. Because I
What do you-
never had one.
Would you like a name?
It makes no difference to me.
Hmm. What do you want?
It stays silent.
Hmm. I'll just nod and go down and finish chewing on my meat leg.
Finish. You're going to eat 30 pounds of meat in one sitting.
Well, finish on
Continue.
the
Okay.
mighty adventure of this meat leg I'm on.
Alright, you continue going at it. You've been full for, well, the past 8 hours continuously. And you're finding it... Actually, no, it's morning. You get a good amount down. It's a lot of freaking meat. But you do know that it might start spoiling if you're not careful with it soon.
Why, he's gorging.
Mhm.
Then again, spoiled meat doesn't bother him.
Place it in the bag of colding.
I could.
I kind of thought about that, but that's also just throwing meat in my bag.
He wouldn't even ask. He'd just do it.
How would you get a hold of it?
He has his ways.
I also have ways.
We couldn't attack me with a 40-pound thing of bread.
Try it.
I got 40 pounds of meat. Look, we can make a stew.
You can make a sandwich of mighty proportions. Super rations.
I do have a cookbook.
Oh my god. What do we
I can-
cook?
I got the garlic.
I can conjure tools. I can conjure utensils and cooking supplies.
This is going to be glorious.
Anyways, in the morning, Eric's is gonna head down, grab some food, and keep reading his book while he's doing so.
Alright. I believe you were actually on a book about seafaring. And
I suppose I'll...
boatmanship.
Cool. In the engineering group?
Or the engineering book, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
So seafaring and what was it? Boatmanship?
Yeah. So sailing and various techniques to sailing, sailing against the wind, with the wind, stuff like that.
Okay.
Suppose I'll go down and play for the night crowd.
Alright. It is now... Oh boy. So, do you want to correct your sleeping schedule? Doing that means you would basically stay in and rest for like about 12 hours instead of just 8.
Yeah. Well, group vote for that one.
I was thinking probably... Well, at least if we're gonna go out now and continue our adventure, not just faff about around the town, then probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or rather, it be at night.
I doubt this town has very much for us. So we'd be sleeping for... We'd have been sleeping for about 12 hours. To correct our sleep schedule.
Sleeping and just general, very, very low intensity activities, such as reading.
Mm-hmm.
Subtract another... 1 gold piece and 5 silver for the rooms and food for 1 day. Actually, no, not the rooms.
I was about to say, are we each getting a room or something?
No. But subtract what did I say food was? I believe it was 3 silver, actually.
Sure
So,
enough. Even
subtract
I can...
3 silver for everyone, except Ruck, because you still have that giant piece of meat.
I have my own food too.
I guess even I have to play for my food.
Try another performance check.
I mean, why not? The crowd seemed to like it.
Yeah.
And it may be a different crowd this time. Let's see what they think.
You try to do a repeat performance of what you did last night, and something that you didn't notice back then, but that you'd notice now, and that this place doesn't have very good
Acoustics.
acoustics. That's what I'm thinking of. It's like audio reflections. No, but yes, pretty bad acoustics, and it feels that now that you're aware of them, you sort of get yourself in a rut and play a bit worse than you did last night. But you still rake in a few tips and offerings. You gain 20 gold pieces and what looks to be a small garnet.
A garnet, you say?
give me a intelligence check. Actually, no. Give me either an investigation or an insight check. Maybe about 30 to 35 gold pieces worth.
Not bad.
It's in the shape of a sort of an uneven teardrop.
All right. And what was it worth?
About 30 to 35 gold pieces.
All right. Just gotta add that to my inventory. And anyone else?
Alright. We'll assume you guys have been doing various light activities, such as reading, taking care of various weapons and equipment that you have in the common areas and inside your room. And it comes to about 6 o'clock p.m. of the following day. So you guys are now completely rested up and ready to take on the world, as it were. Now, Erix, you know on your map, you know that Lork is about 4 days travel to the east by... There's a very small trail that's been overgrown. And past Lork, there's really not much actual road. And you know that that area is definitely dangerous.
And this is where the dragons or kobolds and such are supposed to be?
Yes, somewhere near Lork. You were told to the north of Lork, by where the river is, by where the source of the river is, near the one of the Great Peak Mountains.
All right, shall we start heading, guys?
Yes, let us be off.
Yeah.
All right.
Onward and upward! Or just onward, one of the two.
Let's just go onward. Upward comes later. All right. You head out, grabbing Donkey from outside. You start heading on a small trail that leads out of Loudwater to Lork.
Hey, what about
And this
Shrek?
water... what?
What about Shrek?
He's the cart. He doesn't need to be woken up.
No, but I grab him too, right?
Yeah. That's the cart, you big idiot.
Okay. You just said I only grabbed Donkey.
I'm gonna kill Shrek soon.
Shrek is an inanimate object. It can't be
I
killed.
can kill him no matter what.
You will burn this night.
Okay. You head out. The road that you're traveling on, you can tell, was much larger in the past, but has now been reduced to a sort of a very infrequently traveled dirt path. In fact, in a lot of places, grass is starting to grow up through the trail, and it takes a sharp eye to know exactly where you're going and to stay on the trail. Ooh. And that's not the right. There we go. So, the first day goes very uneventfully. There's really nothing... You probably know that there's not much things that are hostile or monstrous within spitting distance of Loudwater. Not much stuff lurks just outside cities like this. However, as you continue on, you start to hear various animal calls through the dense foliage. And let me get up 1 second and close my door, because my roommate's going to be home in a sec. Okay. What's your guys' watch schedule?
Don't we have that bubble thing, Cobalt?
Liam's tiny hut.
Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, should we still have a watch schedule just in case? Just, sit and relax?
Yeah, we are in a dangerous area, so I will go ahead and go first.
Alright, we'll need 4.
I'll go second.
Hey, Sully, you
I'll go
mind
last.
going with Cobalt?
I was about to say, maybe I'm not the best at finding things or noticing
Yes,
things.
I'll do that.
And then I guess Rock goes last.
Alright.
Or, Rakub, were you saying last or third?
Yeah, I said last.
Oh, then Rock goes third.
Cobalt.
Yes.
During your watch, and this is when it's starting to get dark again in the forest. The days last pretty long, but still with your sort of funky sleep schedule and how north you are, the days are still relatively short. As it's getting darker, the sun is just dipping below the high tree line. Sort of shadowing you in this very light shade. The buzzing insects that were around you, sort of annoying you this whole time, as well as flocks of birds in the trees that have been constantly calling out, and a faint wind blowing from the west, just rustling the trees slightly. You're minding your business, reading a quiet passage from your book, when all of a sudden you realize that the only thing you can hear is the faint rushing of blood through your ears.
Like it's suddenly completely silent.
Completely silent. Something that slowly crept in, but you've just now noticed. Nothing. Even the faint breeze that was whistling through has stopped.
Ooh,
Would the
boy.
breeze? Wait, would the breeze go through the bubble?
It would not, but the sound it's been making going through the trees
Okay.
stopped.
Who's on watch right now?
Cobalt.
Okay.
And Sully? Or no? Actually, I was hoping Sully was going to go with me, but
Yeah,
maybe not.
Cobalt and
Give
Sully.
me a perception check, Cobalt.
Okay. In the tower.
Wasn't I going to?
Yeah. Sully said he
you're-
was going to do it with Cobalt.
Specifically because Cobalt's not good at noticing things.
Alright, well, yeah. Sully, you'd be noticing all of this as well.
Would I make an investigation check or?
Perception.
Okay.
In the tower as well. After what feels like hours, but in reality was only maybe 5 minutes of this, you feel very uneasy. Something in the air, perhaps something's aura, but for a brief moment you feel that something's watching you, burning holes in the back of your head. You look around to try to get a beat on whatever's out there, but you can't. You hear in your mind, And I don't believe either of you have heard this voice before. But it's a small, feminine voice.
Cobalt has.
And you can just hear... Oh yeah, you would have heard it. You hear a quiet giggle.
Is this like a threatening feeling that I'm getting?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you had
Right.
hairs on the back of the neck, they'd be standing up.
Cobalt's gonna
Every
cast
bit of your being is screaming at you to run or flee or fight.
Cobalt's gonna cast protection from good and evil on himself.
Alright.
You want me to
That
send what
brief
that does?
bit of... yeah, I know what it does.
Okay.
That brief bit of magical crackling of energy. That noise to fill in the silence is a relief more than what either of you could imagine. And in fact, I believe this sort of unsettling silence would wake you all up, slowly, one after the other. And even inside this small refuge, you all feel as in these magical walls wouldn't stop anything.
Hmm.
Do the rest of us hear the voice?
No.
Okay.
Only the two that were awake at the moment would you be Kobold and Sully.
Boy, I did not like that.
Yeah, that was weird.
I'm going to try something.
Okay?
I would like to take out the mirror I have in my possession.
Alright, what does it
Look
do?
into it. No, it's nothing. It's just a simple mirror that belonged to my previous keeper.
Okay.
And I'm going to look into it and slowly turn around, gazing at the reflections of what I see. To see if
Okay.
anything's off.
Make a perception check.
Alright. Because Sully heard from adventuring folk that mirrors do not lie.
Well, they do if there's a vampire there. Because they don't show the
Turning
vampire.
around slowly, looking very, very intently at this mirror, slightly shaking in your hand. You see, deep in the forest behind you, a hulking figure next to a tree. Well, first you thought it was just sort of a misshapen tree, but looking closely you could see two shimmering eyes reflecting the last bits of sunlight.
Get up, get up, get up. Everyone get up. Get up.
You turn around to try to look at it with your own eyes, but you see it's not there. And bringing the mirror back up to try to find the same spot, you can't. You think you find the same spot, but the figure's not there.
Well then. Time to get people up. Time to get people.
Oh, people have been awake for a little while now. They've been slowly
suppose.
waking up just due to this uncomfortable and unnerving silence.
I suppose I'll relay what I witnessed from
Eric, can you give me a nature check?
Hi. And can Kale help?
No.
Was worth a
This would be
shot.
based on your knowledge.
Not bad.
As you wake up, as you look around, as you take in the senses, you realize that you might know what's going on here. And as you're about to speak, the wind picks back up, bringing the familiar rustling of leaves. And with that, momentarily afterwards, you hear the distant call of some crows. And Eric's, you know that this was probably the sort of a visitation by a spirit of these woods. You know that they're immensely powerful and very fickle. If they decide that you're not welcome or that you're a danger to what they hold dear, it's not pleasant, to say the least.
Alright.
And you know that they're nearly omnipresent in these woods, able to appear anywhere at once.
I will, of course, relay this to the rest of the group.
Hearing an explanation soothes all your nerves immensely. Alright.
I'm
Does
gonna
it
side
seem-
eye the doll.
Well,
It
I don't
stays
think
silent.
this has anything to do with the doll.
It might. Maybe the spirit
Actually,
doesn't
no.
like the doll.
Rock, you would hear it say, "It's been too long since I've seen him.
It's been too long since what?
I've seen him."
Hmm. I'm gonna.
But not long enough as I would wish to see him again.
I want to try something.
Alright.
I want to think. Can you hear me?
Eric's just gonna say yes.
No,
Not
he's.
really.
Yeah. He wants to think to the
The
doll.
doll, you don't get a response back, but you get the faint feeling of affirmation.
Mm. I'm gonna think. I've come up with a name for you.
A vague sense of apathy.
And I'm just gonna think Sora, and then I'm gonna go back to eating my meat log.
You don't seem to get a response. Not even these vague emotions.
That's fine.
Could you write down that name on your description of the item so I can actually remember it?
Already did.
Is the forest still silent?
No, it's returned to its normal state. Although there's a few reminders of what just happened. Namely, your shaking hands and a faint aroma of sweat on all of you.
Now, does this thing, did I get, like... I mean, you said it was fickle, but does it seem to be displeased by our presence?
Probably not.
So it's more of it was just kind of checking us out kind of feeling?
Perhaps that, perhaps reminding you that it exists. The power
A
that it
show of
holds.
power.
Or something like that, yes.
Oh, this is coming back from our talk of burning down the forest, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't actually think of that before this happened, but yeah.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, I was on your side, Forest. Leave me out of this.
Alright. What's everybody doing now?
Meat logging.
I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Alright.
Can I continue my watch?
Suppose I'll try to sweat off myself before I start to smell.
I will go ahead and relay to the rest of the party some ideas on how to kind of sense it and realize it's here.
You figure
Just in
that it's
case it-
probably, yeah, the same sort of sensation that just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I just start talking next time? Because any sound was greatly appreciated while it was looming over our heads.
It was more of a faint relief for you, since it broke out the silence, or it, broke up the silence. You can't really tell if it was appreciated by the being.
Of course, because it's a different form of being altogether. I suppose I'll finish up my watch and, get the next two pair to take over.
Alright. The rest of your rest goes uneventfully, and you awaken and start getting your stuff together. Let me change the day and also turn my music back up because I turned off my music for that.
So, Dovah.
Yeah?
Something I'm gonna do every morning when prepares his spells.
Yeah.
Instead of pulling his spellbook from the trunk, he's gonna conjure up a replica of the spellbook. And, prepare spells from that.
Alright. How long does that last?
I mean, just until... So, I don't actually use the spellbook for casting spells unless it's a ritual. In which case, it lasts an hour.
Wait,
Alright.
did we practice with the doorways while we were in town?
No, you did not.
But yeah, conjure a replica of my spellbook every morning to prepare spells, and then conjure one whenever I'm gonna cast a ritual spell, and kind of keep my spellbook in the safe place for a while.
Alright. Yeah, you do so.
Why don't you just keep it in your tiny chest? So that
That's
you
what I
do
did.
have access to it. Oh, I thought you were talking about the chest of holding or the trunk of holding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
So. Yes, the day. Need to set it. Is that spelled wrong? Instead of saying 9th, it says 9th.
There's, if you look above the 8th, is that, I don't know if that's, yeah, that's misspelled too.
Oh no, that's the actual day of the week. Like instead of Monday, Tuesday, we have
Oh, you're right.
first day, second day, 9th day.
And 10th day. So we've got 10 days in a week on this. Huh.
Yeah, 10 days is one work week.
Huh. Cool.
So it makes it easier to calculate downtime.
Yeah. Alright, I'm going to feast on some of the rations from, the large amount of rations that I picked up.
What's
Alright.
going to feast on Eric's large amount of rations he picked up? Not really.
Eric
I'm
will
gonna-
happily share.
Oh, in that case, he will.
I'm gonna kind of...
I picked up 50 rations, guys.
I suppose
I'm gonna... I'm
ahead.
going to wander a little bit from the cart, just going around the forest, munching on that brick.
Alright.
I'm gonna keep an eye towards Raku for as much as I can while he's doing so.
Alright.
Alright,
And
so
by this time, you've definitely gotten out of the town or out of the area where the town's influence, ends. So you're definitely in the wilds now, and wandering off the trail a little bit. Give me a perception check.
All of
All
us,
right.
or
Just Riku.
Beautiful, as I thought.
I mean, you didn't really need it, but yeah. After 5 minutes of just wandering around, munching on the bread, which is pretty nice, you smell something very unpleasant in the air. And as you turn around looking for the source, you notice that propped up against the tree, almost nailed to it, almost as if somebody knew you were coming here to see it, is a strange effigy. I mean, it looks to be the poorly cleaned skull of an elk, along with a circle of bones tied together with some sort of vine or gut string.
Lesson.
I'm going to, as soon as I see that, I'm going to use message and tell Eric's to come over here and the other people and tell them that I saw the effigy.
Alright.
So you're specifically going to tell me that you saw the effigy?
Yeah, and to come over to me and tell the other people, the rest of the party.
Cobalt and Rock, if you two could stay here at the cart for now. Well, actually, Sully, what college are you?
Lore.
I'm a lord
Okay, so
bard.
then, yeah. Cobalt and Rock, if you two could stay here while we go look at it, watch the cart, because I don't think we can bring the cart over here with us.
It's too
Okay.
thick.
Yeah.
Cobalt is going to clean Rockwork's armor with prestidigitation.
Sure, I'll come take a look at this satanic thing.
I know, right?
this could not end badly.
Of
Worked
course
well in
not.
It worked well in the Blair Witch Project.
Yes, so well. Nothing went wrong.
If you're standing in a corner, just run away.
Alright, so
Give
we
me a
get over
nature
there.
check, Eric's. In the tower, please.
Alright.
And anybody else, you can use a nature or a history.
That's over there, or everybody?
Everybody who's over there.
No.
Alright, let me see.
So,
Oops.
Well,
I think that was supposed to be in the tower, but okay.
Yeah, it
sorry.
was.
Eric's and Raku. Raku, you've only really heard of this. You've never seen it nor really studied it. But Eric's, you definitely know that this is the marking of sort of a property. That this is that the forest's influence sort of spreads to here. And these beings are rare. Because the woods that they inhabit are dark.
Like evil?
Primordial, more. Incredibly thick
civilization.
and inhospitable. Well, not inhospitable, but it's incredibly difficult to create any sort of civilization in it. And the number of these have been dwindling throughout time, but they're out there very, very rarely. You do know that these sort of markings are definitely made with gut string and various natural products. And it's not particularly a meaning of ill intent, but trespassing and sort of desecrating any sort of this area will earn some very, very bad actions upon you. Like, you've got to be on top of your nature game while in here, or you might end up as one of these effigies.
I'm going to look for a seed or something, any form of seed on the ground real quick.
I'd say you find a tree nut from one of the large trees sort of rooted nearby.
I'm going to pick it up and find a somewhat open spot somewhere on the ground, plant it, and use Druid craft to start it growing.
Alright.
And I will just speak loudly to the air, pretty much, saying, "We mean no harm to this land. We will pass through without damage if we can."
You do so. After applying your druidic magics, you see the top of it sprout up in the soil, drawing 2 leaves off to either side. For a brief moment, you smell a light, warm wind, kind of carrying the scent of a few flowers and perhaps some fresh fruit. But as soon as it came, it disappeared, followed by a very, very brief moment of an intense, rotting stench before dissipating.
I have no idea what to make of that.
Sully isn't sure what to do, but he pinches his nose.
I don't know, I'm almost feeling like there's something going wrong in this forest that we might need to help with.
Not at this level, and we're not paid for it, so...
I don't know, we are pretty high in level. We could probably take on whatever's going on, but...
Yeah, or gear. That's right.
Yeah, I just say we keep traveling on, and...
We haven't even silvered all our weapons yet, as has been one of my goals.
I think silvering really only works against, like, lichens and such.
Well, it would be an upgrade.
It couldn't hurt.
Fair enough. Well, I will lead the way back to the cart and suggest we move on. I will say to the rest of the party to be very careful not to harm the forest in any way.
Cobalt? No firebolts.
Cobalt go to the bathroom. Walks into the forest.
Hold it.
I'll follow Cobalt.
I'm just kidding. I'm done. We'll go.
Alright. You head off. Very, very careful to not do any damage whatsoever to this environment. Alright, eventually you do make it out of this forest. And outside the forest is a sort of a tundra area leading into rocky, sandy foothills of this mountain range. Nothing much happens on your way there. And what time did you need to go, Rock? I believe you needed to go
10:30.
10:30.
So like an hour.
An hour? Okay. I mistitled the session again.
He moved it out of that half hour.
Yeah.
It was just getting interesting. Sleep can sacrifice for interesting. But only to a point.
After traveling through, and as you guys are leaving the forest, give me a perception check, everybody. In the tower, please.
All these perception checks.
Oh no, I'm not good at perception.
Neither am I.
I don't have proficiency in it. I've literally just got my wisdom modifier.
Why is
It
that
does
Rock
have
Rock notices
proficiency.
all
You
this stuff?
nothing?
Because Rock is just Rock.
What good
great.
is have proficiency?
Rock, you, for a moment, you feel that something's watching you, and you turn around, looking back into the forest, into the tree line. You see above various ferns and next to a large tree, a hulking figure. Horns jutting out above its hunched back. And you see those two same glowing eyes.
Can I do like Go ahead.
It seems to notice you watching. And it walks towards the tree that it's next to. You look expecting to see it emerge on the other side, but it doesn't. It seems to be gone.
Can I do like an Arcana or a Nature check to figure out what it was?
Yeah.
They are both the same.
Yeah, just do nature.
Would you have advantage on it? Because I pointed out what to look for.
I would
and stuff.
say yes.
Wait, he said Arcana? We can do Arcana for this?
The rest of us have not seen it.
Yeah.
This is only Rock.
This last vision was just from Rock, and
I mean, I saw it in a mirror.
yeah. And you two are the only people to actually see it, to get a brief glimpse. And Rock, you don't know at all. This is your first time encountering this sort of natural magics in this sort of way. I mean, you've seen Eric's do some of his work, and some various other natural magics, especially in Loudwater, but nothing like this. Nothing so sort of primeval.
Can I ask Sora if she knows what it is? If she answers.
You asking out loud or in your head?
In the head.
I'm thinking of a good answer. I'll get back to you on that. What's
Okay.
everybody else doing?
Just riding along on the cart.
Alright. You hear a response, Rock. A man from an ancient time. He spent so much time in the woods that his body twisted to become such. To call him a man, though, is misleading, as he's no more human than you are. And that's it.
I'm just gonna kind of nod to myself and keep going.
All right. On the second day, sort of nearing the evening, or nearing the morning, all of you, almost at once, you have this, or you smell this faint scent of of rot and decay. At the moment, you can't see exactly where it's coming from, but the wind is coming at you. So it's probably ahead of you some ways. After a while, you do come across over one of these small hills in the foothills. You see the corpse of what looks to be a large quadruped of some sort. Various vultures and crows pecking at what remains on the ribs and various vertebrae. The skull is still attached, but completely white. Strangely, a lot more clean than the rest of the body.
Can we safely say we are outside of its domain?
Yes. As there's a few trees, but they're all various. They're very scraggly. A lot of them are dead. It's more of a desert, sort of tundra area where you're at right now.
I was thinking, if we were still in its domain, I might try something little stupid. But nah.
So, arriving towards this corpse, you see that sort of affixed around one of its horns is what looks to be a small leather bracelet. And it's strangely impeccably clean.
A bracelet?
Leather
Yes.
bracelet.
A bracelet, maybe a collar. It has adjustable straps on the side.
I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna
Alright,
put it on.
What's your passive perception?
9.
What's everybody's passive perception?
14.
Pretty sure it's
No.
12.
16.
You remove the bracelet from the antler and place it on, let's say, your wrist.
Well, I said I didn't want to put it on.
Oh, you didn't want to put it on? Okay.
I was gonna identify it first.
Are you casting that as a spell or a ritual?
Ritual.
Alright.
So I'm gonna have to hold it for a minute or 10 minutes, I guess.
Alright, you start to cast the ritual about an arm's length away from the rest of this corpse.
Hey,
Everybody
Rockrock, you want any?
You notice a steady trickle of, or the large amount of birds that flew away from the corpse as you arrived. You notice that about the same amount or more are sort of perched on these dry brown trees and on various rocks and outcroppings around the road and around this corpse.
I'm gonna lift up my meat legs like, nah, I'm good. Just go back to eating it.
Alright.
I'll look at the crows curiously.
You watch as two more arrive from somewhere out of your field of view.
This doesn't feel natural, does it?
It feels very natural, but you're getting a vague sense of unease.
I'd like to go ahead and do a nature check to double check for anything that might be less than normal.
Go ahead. everything seems to be rather natural. I mean, of course, a lot of things die in nature and they get preyed upon by scavengers like this.
This
The amount of
number,
birds... there's something off about that, but you're not sure what.
though, I'd like to roll a nature check also, but I don't know if I... why not?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Specifically about the crows.
You get the same thing.
Hmm.
You think that you know... Yeah, that stuff dies in nature all the time, and scavengers eat it.
Can I do a...
Both of you do know that some of these species can be competitive in the right conditions.
We're gonna get attacked by crows. We're gonna get attacked.
As you watch, 3 more arrive, along with a rather large vulture.
Can I do a perception check around the area?
What are you looking for?
Go
Anything that's weird, like looking at us, or if it's super quiet.
Okay.
Kobold, put the band in the wagon. We gotta get moving.
I'm busy casting it. Hey, Dovah.
Yeah.
I don't suppose I can cast a spell while ritual casting, can I?
No.
Can I do any other action at all?
Other than
Alright.
casting...
Well then, under my breath I kind of say, I'm busy, you kind of have to lift me. Or you have to carry me.
Rock, you don't see anything strictly unnatural, but the amount of scavengers and almost predatory birds here is getting disconcertingly large. There's no unnatural silence as before, but there's tension in the air, almost as if they're waiting for something.
I'm gonna slowly reach for my weapon, but not draw it.
Murder of crows, so they say.
Another large vulture almost silently arrives, perching on a branch opposite of the vulture that's already here.
Would you say the amount of birds are disproportional to the amount of dead carcass in front of us?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, there's a decent amount of meat on those bones, but definitely not enough to feed all of these birds.
Sully's gonna pick up Kobold and take him back to the wagon.
Can you give me a concentration check, Cobalt? DC of 10.
Sure. That'd be con save. I got that.
It's a
Well-
ritual, so I would suppose you'd definitely be able to maintain concentration. I lied about the DC 10.
Thanks.
DC
Just make
was
sure you're
fine.
not rolling a 1 on that and like sneezing. Alright.
Sully will go back and take the leather band and put it on the wagon.
I assume that identifying it would require that it
Got
be
to
in
hold on
Cobalt's
to
hands.
it the whole time.
Oh, well then.
So that you
Alright,
are now
guys.
in the cart.
Alright guys, let's get going.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach my hands back and like ready them on the quiver, but I'm not pulling it out. Or yeah, on the bow and quiver, and just readying it. I'm not pulling it out yet.
Alright. As you watch another 4 crows arrive. All of them, some of them preening themselves, but a lot of them just looking at you.
Did the birds start as soon as Cobalt got the bracelet thing off of it?
Not really. You know that they sort of flew off as you arrived here. Have been slowly gathering since then.
They want to know if they have to fight for their meal,
Hmm.
is what I'm gathering.
Can I intimidate the birds?
Give me an intimidation check. And how are you doing this?
I'm just
Party
gonna
dies.
roar at them.
Give me a strength check to see how loud you roar. It's still pretty good. A roar deceptively loud comes from Rock, and you watch as a comfortable amount of crows are startled and fly off. There's now about still 35 just kind of perched and watching, but about 15 or 20 flew off. And remember, a crow is about half the size of kobold.
Mm-hmm.
So how about those giant owls?
I'm assuming all of you are getting back into the cart?
Oh yes.
I'm gonna be the
Yeah.
last one getting in.
Yeah, I never left the cart.
I never did either. I'm sitting in the driver's seat.
We move.
Alright, you all get in? Sorry, I blanked out for a moment.
I never left. I've been in the cart.
Alright. That's where we're talking towards Rock, since I know he's not in the cart.
Yeah, I'll get in the cart. I'll wait until like if anybody else was out, and then I'll get in the cart last.
Alright. You are all in the cart now.
I figure we just keep heading on.
Alright. The clatter of your wooden wheels against the dirt path sort of echoes throughout this small valley that you're in. You think for a moment that you hear a small flutter of wings, but you don't see a death flock coming straight at you. And as you drive away slowly, still anxious about this whole situation, you see that a handful of the crows fly back towards the carrion, while the rest, almost at the same exact moment, take flight in almost every conceivable direction.
That's unnatural.
Alright.
I feel we're being watched.
Can everybody give me a survival check? Because now is about the time they should probably start looking for signs of kobold movement. And in the tower for everyone, please.
Okay.
You said survival?
Yes.
Okay.
Or tracking if you have bonuses towards that in particular.
Well, another -1.
Oh wait, what'd you say? Nature or survival?
Survival.
I should have put it on
track.
wisdom. Wisdom is used so much more.
Mm-hmm. Wisdom is used a lot.
Now, as a refresher, who here grew up in a kobold tribe?
Not
Cobalt.
me.
Cobalt
No.
is the opposite.
Nobody?
I don't know
Was it
about...
really?
Cobalt only recently met kobolds.
Eric's and Raku.
Define grew up.
Spent maybe half a year, or was born into a kobold tribe.
Oh, well, and I was, but then I was picked up, so to say.
No.
Eric's and Raku
Abandoned.
had a little bit of time with other kobolds, but we wound up basically just The parents died, and we wound up stranded in Neverwinter Woods, and that was that. Hello?
I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry, just thinking. Sully and Raku. Actually, Cobalt, you would also notice. But you start to encounter signs of recent movement.
Footprints.
Footprints, various bits of broken, rusted metal, a campfire in a small alcove in a cave that's been extinguished for maybe a week or so. But there's some definite movement around here by the same group of people, you can tell. I cleared the drawing again. Either way, you guys know where we are. You guys are just at that fork in the river near Lork. And the river crossing itself was rather easy, as there was a fairly old but still stable wooden bridge leading over one of the thinner parts of the river. Get 2 more rolls. Ooh. Oh, and you finish identifying that collar.
Okay.
It is actually. I'm gonna start drafting up an item for it.
Okay.
But it is a cur collar. It is a thick leather collar with a sturdy bronze clasp. It constantly cleans any creature that wears the collar, rendering them impervious to soil, dust, or foul odors.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Cool. Cobalt's gonna kind of look it over, think for a second, and put it on.
It's everybody's passive perception.
I was about to say, I'm gonna side-eye
12.
that. 16.
16.
14.
10.
10. Yeah, pretty much everybody notices this except for Cobalt. I mean, Cobalt, you get the general.
Busy with the collar.
Cobalt, you get the general feeling of getting, you feel a bit cleaner. You don't really notice anything different. Everybody else notices a faint whoosh of air, along with a expanding cloud of dust coming from Cobalt.
That's funny.
Like he clicks it on, like click. Whew,
Somebody
of
will
dust are
also
going everywhere,
side-eye
like
that, then.
dried grass coming out from like his ears and stuff.
This is pretty extreme stuff, Dovah. I mean, Cobalt usually uses prestidigitation to keep himself clean.
You've been
Yeah,
on a
just-
dusty road all day.
Imagine
I
the cloud
Yeah,
of food from
yeah.
Rock Rock.
Oh, jeez.
I think that could be a attack.
If it was on me, it would just be breadcrumbs everywhere.
Okay.
Alright, then we keep going.
Now from what you heard in Loudwater, you know that the ruins of Lork are pretty much barren. There's maybe a few stone structures here and there, but that's about it. Well, and the mailbox. But that's really it that's in the town. As it was bombarded from the mountainside and completely flattened. Now you know that, or you start heading up north, following along the river, and you see a few more signs of kobold activities or something in the area. Everybody give me another survival check for tracking purposes.
In the tower?
Yes. I need one from Sully. There we go. No, that's Kale. Raku, you're really the only one to notice this, but you see, after about a full day of travel, you eventually see a small sort of effigy. Definitely not like the ones you've seen in the forest, but it's a small sort of identifier. It seems to be constructed with a bit of scrap wood and a handful of cheap gemstones that have just been, well, undoubtedly lovingly crafted, but not very high quality. And it seems to be jutting out from two rocks under an overhang, disappearing into what looks to be complete darkness from here out in the sun.
I pointed out to the other guys and keeping my voice low. I tell them where to look for it.
All right. After a bit of searching, you all eventually see it. And Sully, you have a vague... Actually, give me a history check.
In the tower?
Yeah.
Okay.
You vaguely remember this being associated with the kobold clan of some sort. You don't remember exactly what it's for, but you know that it's definitely associated.
Sully's
Come on.
going home.
Come on, Bard, don't you have a song for this? You should know exactly what this is.
I can make one, I suppose. He suddenly seems to feel a bit lethargic.
I vote we sacrifice Sully.
To who?
To the DM.
Why?
General purposes.
Okay.
You can offer yourself, I guess. It's the willing that are the best.
I don't know. Dovah likes it when people are suffering, so he might prefer you unwilling.
Rocks fall, everyone dies.
Oh, yeah.
That was unwilling.
Forceful sacrifice.
Just the
Non-consent-
DM's way.
Non-consensual sacrifice.
By the way, while
So-
we've been traveling, I've been reading through my books. How many have I gotten through?
You've gotten through one more. Or you've gotten through the sailing book, and you've started on the next one. I believe it's an engineering book, right?
Yes.
It is. It is based on a sort of a fermentation center proposal. Sort of a centralized fermentation machine for many companies to use. Gotten out of it so far, but
And while he's been doing that, I've been reading the cover of the book as he reads it.
yeah, you know exactly what each of them are called. They do have all titles. They do all have titles, but I don't
Right.
have them for you right now.
And then every once in a while, I will try to just repeat the title and talk with him about it and act like I know what the conversation's about.
Give me a deception
How
check.
rude would it be to boot the effigy?
Probably kill us all.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Eric, can you give me a history check?
Ah, damn it. Wait, oh, okay.
Why history? How about insight? Can I do insight?
You can certainly try, but the DC is going to be much higher.
Can I do both?
No. After listening to him talk for, like, maybe a few sentences, you realize that he probably hasn't read the book, and he's just guessing.
Like the whole thing was just me like trying to mess with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I will reach down and just pat his head before going back to my book.
Pat.
So what was this last book about?
Some weird, like, collectivized, or centralized fermentation center.
So basically
one of
making
the-
booze?
Yeah. I just realized I did not see this city before, but take a look. Basically, direct south of Lork to the city called
Sathar's I noticed that one too.
It's got to be something with the snake people, whatever their names were.
South of what?
Is that the one near the Serpent Hills?
It's,
Serpent Hills.
It's
I
direct
wonder.
south of Marsh of Shilimber.
Well, you know, considering that we probably cannot take the barge back down to Daggerford thanks to a certain someone.
No, that was the whole thing about that was trying to get money refunded.
By annoying the hell out of him?
Oh no, it's not like he blacklisted us, it was just I didn't get money back that I was trying to haggle.
He literally kicked you off the boat!
So? I mean, we could just suggest him to freely take us down the river.
For 3
Come on,
days in a row.
We have ways about this.
He kicked you off the boat. That doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. I'm a criminal.
No, I think we should go south to that city after this. I want to check out the city. But I guess it is up to everybody, I suppose. Everybody must have their say. Then again, do I get suggestion?
Don't know.
Anyways, we are still traveling.
Yes, you do see what you think to be a kobold marker. That's Sully. At the entrance to what may be a cave. That's an interesting image to think about.
Yes, it is. That's how you claim your sacrifice.
By the way, is my mic popping as bad as it was last time?
No, not at all.
It
Moved
did
it
just
down.
now, I think.
Yeah, it did just now, but otherwise it's been good.
Alright. Yeah, I moved the mic down a lot.
Okay. Yeah, you sound fine now. No popping.
Hell yeah.
Well, maybe a little bit, but nowhere near as bad.
It's awesome.
So anyways, we are venturing forward in search of this kobold tribe. Dovah.
What are you all doing?
We're just traveling along,
All right.
waiting for you to throw interesting things at us.
Considering that you're probably there, you continue going closer to this, because you're currently at the southern entrance of, or the southern origin of this. No, not southern. The origin of this branch of the river. You can actually see it a few hundred yards along this this mountain range is a thin trickle of water coming out from maybe 50 or 60 feet up in the air. And it falls into a small lake that forms at the bottom. And you do definitely see some sort of cave entrance with a few tracks, a bit of worn grass and packed dirt leading to and from it. Again, with that small marker. Constructed out of some scrap wood and a few handfuls of gems.
I'm gonna find somewhere preferably secluded to tie up Donkey, give him a bag of oats, and leave Shrek there.
Give him Rockrock's bag of votes.
Huh?
Give him Rockrock's bag of votes.
Nobody's taking my bag
would,
of oats.
I would rather not, put my life on the line for this.
That is a wise move.
And after doing so, I will head in.
Everybody else?
Cautiously, of course.
I'm following behind him.
Yeah.
I think I might actually, I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace on the group.
Alright.
There you are.
What is that? That's plus 10 to stealth, right?
Yes.
So then I get plus 21 without rolling the dice.
How cool. I get plus 11 with disadvantage.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, these are stealth rolls?
Yes.
If you want.
Yeah, if I needed to.
Well,
I
I get
figured
a
we
plus
would.
5. As a wizard, I get a plus 5. Normally.
I figured we would stealth in here, cause, well, we don't want them just attacking us. So yeah. Stealth rolls, Dovah?
By all means.
By the way, guys, remember you can click the little box in the bottom left, type in 10, and it'll automatically add the 10 to your roll.
Oh, cool.
What, in the... Wait, where?
Down at the
modifier?
bottom left. Modifier, yeah.
Okay.
No advantage or disadvantage, right?
Depends
I honestly
on-
want to see what I roll. 32.
I got disadvantage because of my armor.
Yeah, that's the only thing that
They
would
are kobolds.
impact it.
I really hope I passed.
The bonus is
You guys
alone,
rolling so bad.
but these bonuses.
I don't even know what I rolled.
I still... Oh no, he's got that one right there. Alright. So Raccoon is the highest.
Yes, it is.
Still, that's a respectable 32. Not single digits.
He just vanishes into the shadows.
I walk into the wall. I go into like the shadow world or whatever from Link.
You
No.
glitch into the wall.
If you rolled a nat 20, that might be perma stealth forever.
You lose yourself.
In the music, the moment I want it.
No, just in general, you can't find yourself anymore.
Oh man. Can I still find Jesus?
No. Nobody
Oh
can
man.
find you.
Not a high enough row.
No. Okay, so you start proceeding into the cave. You smell a very faint smell of like a decay, perhaps, as well as eventually the faint smell of burning wood, as well as some somewhat unpleasant smells of civilization in general. As I change into a different soundtrack. Alright. Eventually you pass a corner in the cave after traveling for about 10 or 20 minutes. You eventually see the very, very dim light of naturally glowing rocks.
Damn it.
Mounted on a stick.
Shiny rocks.
And continuing past that, following a faint
Hang
trail.
on.
What?
I want to gather them.
Koala's also going to approach them.
They are shiny, glowing objects, and we are kobolds.
Gonna zip past that part like it doesn't mean anything? Jeez, Dovah.
Okay.
But these are also kobolds, and they want their shiny glowing rocks.
Well, if they wanted them, they shouldn't have left them.
I suppose that's true.
This is their home. They didn't leave them. They're set up.
Oh, really?
You want me to go and take the sconces out of your house?
Oh, I thought they were just gonna.
I have no house, but I suppose you could take them out of the wagon.
I suppose we will leave them be. Or at least I will.
Alright. Eventually you come across what looks to be an obstruction in the cave. Get closer and closer. You notice natural holes in the wall on either side. And what's all your guys' passive perception?
9.
You need to write this down.
He can
Yeah,
see
I
it.
can look at it, yeah.
Also look at
Jeez, I don't know why.
It's 12.
Lazy.
Hey, Shrek
Rock
has
Rock.
a passive perception of 10.
Rock, you hear the subtle breathing. Seems to be some sort of creatures inside these holes. You can't really see past the entrance for some reason, even though it's... You can't really get darker than it is right now, but you still can't see within.
Can I take a rock and throw it down the hole? Or the... in front of us?
Make an attack roll. Ranged attack. Which is Dex. It's improvised, so no proficiency.
Oh, I got a +1. So just a d20 +1. In the tower?
You only have +1 to Dex?
Yeah. He's not dexterous. He's strong and
Hit.
healthy.
You pick up a loose rock from the cave floor and just whip it into this hole. You hear the thwap of it hitting something fleshy. And in Draconic, you hear a cry of alarm in a voice that's definitely kobold.
Why would you
Hey.
do this?
And he cries out, "Intruder!" And you hear across the cave in the other hole, you hear the call repeated. And every
Why?
so
Why
And
did
you start to
do
hear it
this?
echoing across the cave as more and more chime in.
I'm
You hear the
laughing.
grinding of stone mechanisms.
He's
I'm
just
going to
laughing.
hold up my hands and be like, showing that I am not armed, shouting in Draconic, wait, we come to talk to you. We are also
With
kobolds.
stones.
I'm gonna continue hiding.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide also.
Or I'm just gonna still walk around and have no one see me.
You guys, in the ceiling, you see a trickle of dust and various rocky debris. As everybody give me a dexterity check.
Check or
Not a
save,
dexterity
though?
save.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's do dexterity save.
Not that it
Alright,
makes
cool.
any difference for me, but
Well, for some of us are proficient in dexterity.
yeah.
Just not all of us.
Was that a nat 1?
Can't tell you.
Oh, you will eventually.
Eric's, you're the only one to not make it.
-1 from that.
Scratch that. Eric's and Rock. You're the only ones not to make this, and I need to look this up because I don't have the common sense to have this ready to go.
That is a nice +8.
I like this song though.
Dovah, you should add
nice
the
to
heroic action things that that Rika has.
I know. We'll do it next session. How about?
Okay. Basically, the heroic actions, as she calls them,
Like
are
bardic inspiration,
no,
but everybody gets 5 points of them.
no.
Oh, that's something.
The way she does them is, you can use 1 per long rest, and it can do various things like give you advantage. You can use it to, save a fellow party member from, well, things like this, etc., etc.
I thought that was already kind of a thing. Or maybe it's a high level thing. I don't
Man, if
remember.
only I could see my rolls, I might use some of my lucky charges.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is a bit of a good
Dovah,
point.
this is kind
I
of.
will tell
I
you
didn't
when you
know
get a nat
that.
1.
Actually, I think you can use it on things other than
Yeah.
nat ones.
I think you're thinking of halfling luck, which is the nat 1
Oh, yeah.
reroll. Lucky is you throw a dice and then you get to pick any of the ones that you've rolled for this particular roll.
Okay. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah,
By the way-
whenever
Yeah.
you make an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can spend 1 luck point to roll an additional d20, and you can, I guess you can choose to spend 1 of your luck points after you roll the die, but before the outcome is determined, you choose which d20 is used.
It turns disadvantage into super advantage. And that's by lucky is broken.
Okay. So, Eric's and Ruck.
Oh.
You are suddenly aware of the alchemist's fire, the green, sickly fire that's pouring out of these holes in the ceiling. My music has stopped. God damn it. You see where it's coming, you try to get out of the way, but you're unable to. As it splashes down on you, you each take...
Alchemist Fire is kind of...
Super weak, yeah.
Yeah, it's
you each
depressingly
take
weak.
2 points of fire damage.
All of us, or just those who failed to save?
Just those who missed it. And the ground below you is now on fire.
Okay, after taking the damage, I'm gonna back up and be like, wait! And repeat that we are here to talk. not fight.
After a few seconds of the fire pouring out from the ceiling, and this acrid smoke filling the air, you hear very faint calls and angry calls to stop, stop, stop! And eventually the streams kind of slow to a trickle, and you stop hearing the clanking of stone mechanisms somewhere beneath your feet. From the darkened hole on the left side of this tunnel, you hear a very old voice in Draconic. Everything's in Draconic from now on.
Yeah, I figured it would be.
Who are you? Why do you come here?
Did we ever come up with a party name?
I don't think you ever came up with a party name.
So are we essentially just like, hello, Kobold, I am Kobold. Just like dogs.
And he's like, hello, Kobold, I too am Kobold. And then the room is filled with incoherent yaps. And then we leave without getting anything accomplished.
We heard about your tribe, and we have come to lead you to a land that we will make our own. Far to the south.
And we're not interested. We like this land.
That was kind of dumb.
I don't know what to say here.
Why'd you start speaking in the first place? I don't. What are we here? What are we doing here? That's a good question.
You
I just
forgot?
followed.
Well, I guess we
I
might
did.
as well reveal our plan to Dovah now. So, Dovah, in the bottom left of the map of Faerun, there is a mountain range called the Cobalt Mountains. And
I know about these mountains.
I know of these mountains.
Told me
literally,
about
there is everything there except for kobolds. And we must remedy this.
why.
Because it is an issue.
Think
We're
you're
besmirching our name.
We are problem solvers.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So our
goodness.
plan is to get a kobold tribe and lead it off to the Kobold Mountains and establish the Kobold Kingdom.
Okay.
And that's why all of your books on sailing are very helpful because, well, obviously we're going to need to know about how to sail to get there, but
I know a girl with a boat.
Yeah, I know where we can get a boat. I got some contacts.
Hey, she said she'd give it to us.
If you kill her.
Well, there'll be more than just killing.
Well,
We'll get to that later. Details.
Details.
She's spicy.
So are you going to say anything else?
Sully, you
Um,
want to take this over because you're kind of...
You want to use your words?
Rock's got this.
No!
No,
No!
Rocker doesn't got this. Sully,
Sully,
what's
are
Sully
you
gonna
there?
say?
Sorry about that.
Oh, there you are.
So, this was the plan. We weren't on a mission. This was a plan for ourselves then.
Well, it's our mission for ourselves.
Other people can join it.
We all spoke about this. I mean, granted, it was months ago, but that's beside the point.
Was this when the session first came to be?
Pretty much.
Because I wasn't around then.
No, you were in this. Just look
It was
at
in the-
Telegram for the Cobalt
I was gonna
Adventures
say.
group.
It was
It
like
was
your
in the
second episode.
The second Telegram chat that Dovah wasn't a part of.
I joined in at the third episode.
Yeah, it was whatever the second episode you were part of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were in this group. This was in September.
I don't recall, but
You
alright then.
can look it up.
Sure.
It started off as us planning to go sailing just because we wanted to go sailing. And
I brought up the island.
Raku brought up the Cobalt Mountains. And then it's like, hey, that's right, they do exist. And I went looking, and it's like, there's no kobolds here. And we have to fix this.
September
All
18th.
right. I suppose I'll tell the elder about the Cobalt Mountains, but first ask about his current situation here, because we can't really expect them to move if they have zero problems with this land.
We are happy here. We have no troubles from surrounding villages, and our patron keeps us well fed.
Your patron, you say?
He adopts some sort of like a sense of reverence to his words. The great Lysangetrix, scourge of the western marsh, keeps us safe. Why would we leave?
Yep, I thought so. They have a dragon with them. I don't think I can move them.
Yeah, I don't think I'd move either.
I'm gonna perk up at the mention of a dragon.
Cobalt doesn't know what a dragon is.
I'm gonna walk out of the shadows because I haven't been revealed yet.
You do so.
Just like, hold on one moment here, and I just kind of materialize.
I think moment as revealed. No one really pays attention
Yeah.
to what's going on in the conversation. There's a faint.
Well then, I suppose the only thing we could reasonably expect to get from them is information about perhaps other kobold tribes. But first, tell me more about your patron, since you seem to enjoy talking about him.
Them.
Them.
Don't want to offend anyone.
If we can defeat your patron, will you come?
Do not.
This isn't the right
Could
kind of
not
conversation.
ever defeat the great Lysangetrix.
I'm
He's
gonna look
undefeatable.
optimistic.
How
Alright,
old
but
is this dragon? I'm just kidding.
so
Thousands of years.
are you sure that this great
Thousands of our
Sanchez is
lifetimes.
on your side?
Well, hold on. Thousands
Of course
of years
he
and
is.
thousands of your lifetimes are different things.
See, he
So-
seems to stay silent, completely ignoring Cobalt.
So how long have you served this great Sanchez?
Sanchez
Sully hisses between his teeth.
used to be called Lysangetrix.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So are my less than
I'm sorry,
companions.
I apologize. I heard you
Forever.
wrong. How long have you been serving laryngitis?
You're
I can't
gonna
help
get
but-
us killed.
I can't help but feel like this kobold that we're talking to is the most kobold out of anyone here, especially us.
I look doubtful at that.
No.
You were asked what your AC was?
My patience with you grows thin, outsiders. The
If you're
sun
strong
has
enough, you don't have to
tainted you.
We walked during the night though.
Did you not hear what I said?
Yeah. You said
No,
you
sorry.
couldn't
Could you
think of
please repeat that?
Oh my god.
You're being
Sully
awful-
gently
you're being-
places
I'm
a
really
hand on-
considering the
Awful.
rocks.
Sully gently places a hand on
Wait, oh, hold up. No, what is
door.
I'm
No,
gonna walk
no,
up
no,
to
no.
the-
Feet out.
what did the kobold say?
Sully, you know that the sun refers to sort of the outside in general.
Oh, I didn't. Know
You
that.
wouldn't know this, Riku, but Sully.
No, no. There
Cobalt
was
also
something.
would
I thought he
say the
threatened
same
me.
thing.
No, I'm just gonna say, if you don't be quiet, I'm gonna send you all the way back to the cart.
If
I
you
want to
don't
walk up to the
stop,
old man.
I go into my quiver and I pull out the 35-pound brick of bread,
Okay.
and I say, I shall offer this to your tribe as it shall feed you for many moons, this single piece. Apologize for our transgressions.
Did it actually do that?
Gain my trust in another way. You could
Do you
have
see what
poisoned
this
it.
is?
You
This
could have
35
poisoned it for all I know.
Dovah,
I'll take a piece off
Hold on.
and I'm gonna eat it.
okay.
He stops mid-sentence as you can hear somebody scampered up from behind. They talk for a brief moment, very, very quietly. Can't really hear what they're saying.
To impress
And
the
after that, you hear the one being scamper back away, and you hear, in sort of a fed-up tone, you hear him say, "The Great One requests an audience with you."
Your great one requests an audience with the great Colbredio.
He doesn't respond, and instead,
Sully looks ready to stab
the
him and
large
said,
gate
I
in
snort.
front of you.
"You will only let me talk. Understood?"
You see that the large gates, which have been closed now, have been constructed out of what looks to be various plates of scrap metal, wood, and stone, slowly creak open. And
Sully
inside you can see the relatively bright light of... It's something that, Sully, you find deeply familiar. And all of the rest of you, you feel you feel a strange connection, like a poignant reminder that this is not the way that you were brought up. That this could have been you but wasn't, and you're not quite sure how to feel about that. And in fact, Rock, the doll whispers in your mind. This could have been you. You could have been part of something. And you see that one kobold who is considerably older and wise looking. Did I say that was for kobold? I believe I said it was for Rock.
What?
You did say it was for Rock.
Okay. You see one that looks considerably older, wearing scraps compared to what you guys are wearing, but still rather opulent-looking clothing, as well as a faint rim of faint tiara of various gemstones around his scaled head. He motions to you all, flanked by a large amount of kobolds, about maybe 13 or 14, all armed with spears pointing towards the center of the aisle, or this tunnel that leads through the settlement.
Sully takes lead position.
just out of curiosity, mostly, how tough do they look? Or are they typical?
I'm sorry,
Not
were we
very.
trying to
They
get them
look
back
like-
to the island,
they
or are
look
we
like
looking for a massacre?
Typical sort of tribes people. They're definitely well built for a kobold, but not well trained or not well equipped. Some of them do have some cobbled together, fairly elegant looking weapons, but most of them are equipped with what look to be sticks tipped with sharpened metal scraps or rock.
So basically, it looks like we could just annihilate all of them if we wished.
Isn't that usually the case?
It is. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna follow along.
All right.
Same.
Keep in mind, though, I don't have any AoE spells.
You
close
are
quarter.
led by the chief.
Slightly distressed that you had to ask this of the people you wanted to recruit.
Hey.
Okay, so shut up. You are brought by the chief into deeper and deeper into the tunnel system that makes up this settlement. After a few winding turns and corkscrew left upwards, various niches and tunnels leading off in various directions where kobolds look out, and some of them sneer at you, some of them look at you in curiosity, but you gain the general feeling that you don't belong. That you're distinctly different from all of these in something more
Basic.
sort of. It feels like you aren't the same race even. Sully, you get this less, but you can you definitely feel that you've changed on the surface. And after a while, he leads you up to this absolutely opulent stone door. And it's leagues higher quality than what the kobolds have been living in. It seems that this was actual stonework at some point, done by perhaps dwarves or some sort. And he stands outside the door for one moment, sort of preparing himself. And finally he stands up straight and pushes the door in. And this is about a 3-foot tall kobold pushing open a set of doors that are about 20 feet tall. And they slowly gain the momentum and start swinging inward. Suddenly, you're greeted with the sight of glimmering piles of gold, stretching up as high as some hills out in the countryside. Gemstones littered everywhere. An immense wave of the static electricity just bursts out. You can see, as you enter, coiled on some of the piles, tail curled around an immense stone pillar, is a colossal red dragon.
So, who's gonna roll seduction?
Oh, come on, roll seduction watch.
It is even a 1.
A one
As
on a
you
D4.
enter, the kobold chief gives a very deep bow and immediately runs out of the room. You can hear in this silence only broken by the deep inhales and exhales of the dragon. And finally it speaks. So, this is who's come to my temple.
Hi.
So, like, at this point, Kobold's kind of, like, falling onto his knees in awe, and he's, like, under his breath, not trying to really speak to him, but he says, "What are you?" And, like, in amazement. He's never seen a dragon before.
And is this where we're gonna end?
I feel comfortable with ending right here.
Oh, like the session?
Well,
There's
yeah,
a look
I
in
mean,
Rock's eyes.
Rock needs to get to bed.
So he does.
Yeah.
Alright, well, everybody, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been a fun session. Now our grand plan has finally been unveiled. We will be streaming... I will be streaming again on Friday with the Furry D&D. The Rooms and Reptiles will, of course, be next Tuesday. We do have our new Ethereal influence option that I forgot to say at the beginning, but I'll go into detail on that at the beginning of the next session.
That's how it's pronounced ethereal.
I don't know. Everybody pronounces it different. Anyways.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining. I hope to see you all next time. Hit that follow and subscribe button. And yeah, see you all next time.
Bye-bye!
Alright, bye. Bye.